His body started failing him at 14. Wagner wasn't even in his life yet. By the time he met the man history blames for his ruin, the war had already started. 1868, Leipzig. A 24-year-old student meets the biggest composer alive. He walks out worshipping him. His name, Friedrich Nietzsche. One year later, professor at 24, one of the youngest in German academic history. He's at Wagner's house constantly, playing piano for the kids, calling him the future of culture. He writes a book dedicated to Wagner. Wagner loves it. Nietzsche is disciple number 1. But the migraines that started when he was 14? Still here. Worse now. Vomiting out of nowhere. Eyes failing. 1879. He can't stand in front of a class anymore. He quits. Moves to the mountains. Alone. Now Wagner's music turns on him. His stomach turns, his feet won't move, his breath won't come. The music he once called divine now makes him physically sick. 1878. Wagner mails him the score for his last opera, Parsifal. Purity, guilt, Christian salvation. Nietzsche reads it and snaps. The one man he thought would never kneel just knelt, in front of all of Europe. He doesn't write a calm review. He writes the line that outlives them both. I despise everyone who does not experience Parsifal as an attempted assassination of basic ethics. 1883, Wagner dies in Venice. 5 years later, Nietzsche is still attacking a corpse. The case of Wagner, Nietzsche contra Wagner, fighting a dead man who can't answer back. 1889, his mind collapses completely. His last letters go out to friends, strangers, even Wagner's widow. He signs one, Dionysus. 11 years left. He never writes again. Mother, then sister, lost in the dark. No one can follow. He didn't lose an argument with Wagner. His body had been losing the war since he was 14 years old, and Wagner was never the real enemy, just the loudest casualty.